Hello everyone, welcome to my live stream. If you don't know, it is Sunday. I'm in Malaysia. It is noon. I'm here a couple more days before I take flight. So welcome, welcome, welcome. So what is my live stream about? It's about money. It's about helping you be able to identify prosperity, money flow, so that you do not end up in the jaws of recessions and depression, but you're constantly hopping from one economic boom to the next. Now the problem is that a lot of people make sure you mute. A lot of people are not able to recognize the signs in the news that helps them be able to identify. Hold on, I want to mute this person. Mute. All right, perfect. You're ready? All right, guys, my moderator is up and running. So if you do not know, I have a moderator. 2, she's merciless. 3, my live stream is very educational. So if you're not in a state of mind where you're able to focus, this may not be the right live stream for you because I focus on cash. Keep your political views, your racial views, your religious views, keep it out of my live stream because I am solely here to help you focus on how to ride economic booms from one boom to the next so you can maintain, sustain prosperity. If you are broke money, which means you have no money, the purpose of my live stream is to help you go from no money to new money and new money to more money by moving with the flow of money, by looking at geopolitical news, by looking at investments, by looking at things that you normally would not be able to understand. I translate them, simplify them, so you can look at life, look at the economy, look at money very, very differently and start making very objective and clear-minded points of view as far as how you move in regards to how you stack your cash. The only thing that I ask for all of you is to tap that screen and give me hearts, because when you tap that screen and give me hearts, that lets me know you understand me, that lets me know we're vibing, and that allows me to continue and to flow and to educate you on how this all works. My name is Tara. I am a digital nomad. I am born, I am made, I am raised in the United States of America. I am currently in Malaysia, and on Tuesday, I'm taking flight for a new country. I have a degree in business and international economics. I love history. I love business. I love current events. And most importantly, I love money. I do not subscribe to poverty. I do not believe in generational poverty. And when you watch my live stream, you no longer have an excuse to be broke. Are we clear? So now that we understand how this works, you tap the screen, you listen to me, you engage in value adding activities with me, and we roll. Any trolls will be handled by my moderator. Any disruptors, any negative people, they will be muted. They will be removed. So all you got to do is tap that screen, vibe with me, and let's get started. So if you do not know, business is made up of 2 categories, and this is how I see it. Business is made up of opportunity and it's made up of history. Now, in regards to opportunity, it's about risk and reward. The reason why rich people are able to continue to amass wealth and go from one economic boom to the next is that they are able to objectively, strategically look at risk and reward and make calculated decisions that more than likely will favor them financially. Now, typically, people who are in the lower socioeconomic, income categories, you have not been able to amass the skill sets to be able to objectively identify risk and reward. And because of how we've been taught, poor people seem to think everything is a scheme and a scam, and rich people see most things as an opportunity. Now, what is the difference between these 2 people? Well, one is their bank account. It's their ability to objectively look at a situation and to evaluate, will it give me a greater return than the risk in the investment? You see, when you have a job, your brain starts to get wired to serve another person. And when you get into the mindset of serving another person, you actually lose the ability to analyze a situation that will allow you to amass wealth, build and sustain prosperity. So when it comes to looking at opportunities, risk and reward, it's a matter of skill set, and it's a matter of poor timing, and it's a matter of not taking action. Poor people do not take action. They come up with excuses, they come up with justifications of why they're not able to move and amass money at the same pace rate of wealthy people. And I'm telling you, part of that is mindset. Part of that's mindset. So either you are making history or you're becoming history. That is business. If you go back through history, you will see that the people who are making history are making moves. And those who are not making moves are becoming obsolete. They are becoming history. And more than likely, you end up at the poverty line and or dealing with a recession or depression. Are you with me? Let me know if you're with me. This is big because you think that money moves differently. Money doesn't move differently. It's only people. Money continues to flow. Money will continue to move. Money will always exist. The problem is that if it's not in your hands and it's not in your bank account, that's when you run into a problem. So my goal is to help you understand that one, money's not avoiding you. Money, you're not allergic to money. No. You just don't understand how money moves, and you need to get your ass in movement to catch that money wave, okay? So what I'm talking about today is a little bit more about relationships. Yesterday, if you watched my live stream, I gave you business examples of how microeconomic booms are created. But today, I'm going to be focusing on relationships, geopolitical relationships, to give you examples of where money is flowing, power is shifting, alliances are breaking down, and how that's a sign of economic declines, busts, or economic booms, prosperity. Let me know if you're with me. I told you this is a very complicated live. This is not your normal TikTok live. Your brain cells are actually going to have to work. If you're having a hard time focusing, maybe today, maybe me, I'm not the right one for you, but everyone else, let's get ready to ride. Now, the UAE, that's United Arab Emirates, the UAE has just committed $1 trillion in U.S. investment after Trump meeting. Now, what does this mean? When a foreign company or foreign country and or company chooses to invest overseas, you must understand that is establishing deep business relationship. It's also establishing trust. It's establishing alliances, and it's establishing prosperity. You understand? It's establishing prosperity, because when you have investment, when you have spending, it's actually, hold on. There we go. It's actually stimulating the economy. And when you have economic stimulation in a positive way, that means cash, cash, money, money, cash, cash, money, money, cash, cash, money, money, cash, cash. So the fact that Trump has gotten the UAE to commit $1.4 trillion over 10 years, they're going to invest. Now, what are they investing in? They are investing in AI. They are AI infrastructure. They are investing in semiconductors. They are investing in energy and American manufacturing. This is huge for the United States for many reasons. Let me explain to you history. Typically, the U.S. has been aligned with Canada and Europe. Now, if you don't know, the U.S. and Canada and the U.S. and EU, we seem to be having some playground spats for a number of different reasons, okay? The U.S. feels like it's gotten cheated, it's gotten shafted. Everyone else is not putting up their portion of money, security, defense. It's just a long history of being taken for granted or taken advantage of. So the U.S. is having a different type of position. And because we are taking a new stance, we are actually placing a great strain on our relationships with Europe and Canada. Now, you must understand how deep, how long these relationships we had with European Union and Canada. It goes a long, long time. So when you see our President of the United States securing investments from the Middle East, that should make your brain go, okay? That should really make your mind think, because you're watching history be made. Why do you think they're investing so much into AI? Because AI is where the money is. The digital industry, the digital economic boom, that's where the money is. Kendall, that is a great question. That is a great question. That's where I'm leading you on my live. We have a recession/depression happening globally and domestically. But we also have an economic boom, and that economic boom is happening in the digital industry. The digital industry includes cell phones, it includes AI, it includes crypto, it includes chips, it includes automations, it includes robotics, it includes algorithms, it includes e-learning. So why are they investing that much money? Because with these technologies, you're losing your job. Because of these digital technologies, they're actually going to be able to minimize expenses, minimize overhead, and maximize their profits. We now have technologies that allow businesses to work 24/7. Before, we used to have to rely on human beings. Now that we have robotics, we have automations, we have quantum computing and AI, they do not need human beings the way they used to. So if businesses exist for money, you exist to have money and enjoy life, then it's all about cash. Businesses are in business to make the most amount of money without spending the least amount of money as possible. So investing in AI and digital technologies, it's actually giving them an opportunity of a lifetime to amass wealth and amass power. That's why so many industries are struggling, and you have small businesses that are going out of business, and you have other businesses that are foreclosing, and you have normal working people unable to get a job because you're being replaced by AI, by automations, by robotics. You must understand, thank you, Curly, you must understand the magnitude of what I'm saying. The purpose of my live stream is to help you identify economic booms so that you learn the art. It's an art of going from one economic boom to the next. Most of you sit pretty, you get comfortable with whatever income level you're at, and then you think you just sit there. Just sit there like a tree for 100 years. No, money moves. And if you do not shift with the money and you do not reskill with the money, you end up broke without money. Do you understand? This is the purpose of my live stream. If you're with me, let me see that screen. Money moves. Some of you think that money disappears. No, what disappears is common sense. Money moves. Common sense is what disappears. And when you don't have common sense, you only earn sense. When you lack common sense, you only have sense change in your bank account. When you fire people, how can they buy anything? So robots, we're getting paid money. Robots are not getting paid money. Robots are a one-time investment, Peanut. Robots are a one-time investment that basically earns companies and continuous ROI until they buy a new one or they go in for maintenance. Robots, it's a one-time fee. Employees, you cost too much. You want too much, you have too many opinions, you get sick. They don't have to deal with that with robots. So no, they don't have to pay for robots. Robots are a modern day form of technological slavery. Robots are a technological slave that an employer can use to exploit freely without having to deal with human rights, employment laws. Do you understand? Tap that screen if you're with me. Robots don't need a salary, which means that money goes into net profits of the company that they work for. You don't see that as a pending issue? No, I don't see it as an issue. I see it as opportunity. Let me explain to you why. The same technology that's putting you out of a job is the same technology that you could harness to earn your own income. And by the end of my live stream, I'm actually going to point you guys in a direction in which you will be able to harness certain technologies that's in alignment with the digital economic boom so that you can earn your own income. So instead of being threatened by AI and quantum computing and robotics and automations, you actually align yourself with it and you start using those technologies to stack that bank, tap that cash, stash that cash. Are you with me? This is about you earning money. This is not all is lost. No. I'm trying to educate you on how the game works so that when you understand the game works, then you are able to start using those technologies and start making money in the new money way. Let me know if you're still with me. Let me know if you're still with me. Intellectual understanding, the money move cannot motivate people to change. Satchit, you're probably right. You're probably right. And you know what? I can only do my part. My part here is to educate, to inspire, and to show you the benefits of taking action. If you don't feel moved to take action, I'm going to leave you where I found you. I'm going to leave you with broke money. Let's be clear. Sion, I can only help you as much as you want to help yourself. I'm here to educate. I'm here to show you the way. And I'm hoping that lights a fire under your booty. But if you don't feel inclined to move, I'm going to leave you where I found you. You want us to invest in the very thing that's going to destroy the economy? No, Kendall, it's not going to destroy the economy. It's just going to mess with your wallet. If you heard me, please tap the screen. These technologies is not going to destroy the economy. It's reshaping the economy. The only person it's going to destroy is the people who are focusing on the wrong thing. The wrong thing is, did cars destroy? Did cars destroy the economy? Did the light bulb destroy the economy? Did the Industrial Revolution destroy the economy? No, it only destroyed the economy of people's households that refuse to align with technological advancement. You understand? Let me know if you're with me. This is a big deal. You keep thinking the economy is going to be destroyed. The only way the economy will never be destroyed. People and their prosperity gets destroyed because you do not move with the times. No. Mindset is the problem. Mindset is the barrier between prosperity and broke victimhood. I want to be clear. The only way someone can have control over you is if you do not have your own business. The only way someone can have control over you is if you do not have your own business. Because if you had your own business and you aligned with the digital economic boom, the only person that has control is you. That's an employee mindset, and I mean no disrespect. You see a threat, I see opportunity. You see destruction, I see creation of wealth. You're stuck on the past, I see the future. You're stuck on hardship, I see ease of living. It's about mindset. So I would suggest for you, pause on the commenting and just listen to me. Because I said in my live, all is not lost. All is not lost. It's only lost with negative thinking. It's only lost with victimhood. You see, if you're unwilling to take action, then I could see how you would feel that way. I understand. But the purpose of my live is to take you from broke money to new money and new money to more money. You understand? And if you're not willing to shift, I'm going to leave you where I found you. So I need to get back on topic. It's clear. I want to get back on topic. So I'm not going to answer any more questions from you, Kendall, for a few minutes because I need to focus. Okay? Mute. I'm moving on. Thank you, Kendall. So back on this. The UAE is investing over 10 years, $1.4 trillion. Unlike Kendall seeing a threat, I see this as a wonderful, it's like spring. It's like spring being brought to the U.S. economy. It's like a new beginning. It's a new time. It's new relations. It's new stimulation. Now, typically, we had deep relationships with Europe and Canada. We had deep relationships with the West. Now, if you pay attention to what Trump is doing, Trump is continually going to the Middle East. Now, what I see is relationships and alliances are shifting. And when relationships and partnerships starts to shift, that means money, power, opportunity, contracts are shifting. That means the money that we used to exchange between Europe and the United States is now going between the United States and the Middle East. This is big because this has long-term generational impact economically, globally, and domestically. So if you want to see where the money's going, all you have to do is look at who's traveling where, Who's securing what type of investment deals? And what does that mean? The EU is not investing $1.4 trillion into the US. It's coming from the Middle East. No one gives up that amount of bank, that stack of cash, unless there's a long-term relationship that is being cultivated. New bonds, new deals, new trade deals, new defense weapon deals, that is money. So when you look at the news and you look at what's going on, I want you to see that money moves. And when relationships and alliances move, that means money's moving. Some of y'all like to stick with your same partnerships, your same network, and your same alliances, and you want to know why your income is not going higher. Your income's not going higher is because you have basically tapped out. Your network, your skills, your knowledge, your education is what's keeping you from going to the next level. So if you want next level money, you want next level prosperity, you must understand you must move and shift differently. There is an economic reason why Trump is securing deep investments with the Middle East, because he has seen a long history of the U.S. getting economically shafted as far as defense reasons, trade reasons, the reasons go on and on and on, which has contributed to the U.S. economy looking in the state that it's in. So you must understand him shifting partnerships because he wants equal partnerships. He no longer wants international welfare relationships with our Western Western alliances. We've been performing some type of Western welfare alliance, and Trump is a businessman and he wants a fair, equitable, profitable deal. He is done with the U.S. going into debt and enabling and co-signing other first world countries when they have the budget, they have the resources to cough up the money like we are. Okay? So now I've given you an example of how relationships shift, money shifting, alliances are shifting, which means prosperity is going to start to shift. And it will eventually end up impacting all of you. Next, the U.S. is directing a second aircraft carrier to the Middle East. Okay? We have a lot of activity going on in the Middle East. You must pay attention. These are signs. Y'all chalk it up. You think it's just, it's religious. It's right. No, you don't understand. Those are distractions. When the U.S. sends aircraft carriers someplace, it's to secure their interests. And what is the U.S. interested in? Money, resources, knowledge. No country sends military aircraft carriers, jets, unless it has something with securing our interests. And that is money. Money, money, money. Some of you think it's solely for humanitarian reasons. No. If we send it, it's because our money, our interests are tied to it. How long have people been fighting in Africa? Do you see us sending, you don't see us sending aircraft carriers there unless it serves our interests. And I told you my live stream is about money. It's about economics. I'm not here for your feelings. I'm here to show you how money moves and how the government takes action to secure its economic interests, and it's also securing yours. Let me know if you're with me, because I think some of you are listening and you're very focused, but I need you to tap that screen and give me hearts, because I need to be a lot higher than that. I'm a demanding woman because I got good information for you, okay? I'm a very demanding woman, but I have good information for you. So we are sending a second aircraft carrier to fight the Houthis because they keep sinking U.S. ships. Now, what's U.S. ships? It's trade. It's trade. You know those goods that you like to buy that come from China or come from France? When a cargo ship gets sunk, that is goods, that is money, that's sinking to the bottom of the ocean. I keep telling you, this is about money. And you need to be about money. You need to be about money. You need to stop getting distracted on skin color, religion, gender. That is all poverty distractions. Why do I call it poverty distractions? Because if you keep focusing on that, there's no way you're stacking cash. You can't be stacking cash and stashing cash when you are focusing on things that are irrelevant. The purpose of being in a global economy is that we have tolerance, we have compassion, and we're able to do business deals by putting our personal preferences to the side. The reason why the rich get rich and rich people can do deals with their enemies because they understand there's a time for cash and there's a time to take your ass and your personal preferences over here. They can separate the two. Can you learn how to separate the BS from the cash? Because if you can't separate the BS from the cash, that's where you start to get generational poverty. It's about mindset. You get blinded by what's in the news and you get blinded by opportunity and you can't tell gold from fool's gold because you're believing foolishness and you're buying into foolishness. People who earn money do not have time. Thank you for the gift for the BS. Anybody who's stacking cash knows that time is money and money is time. And when you're making real bank, you don't have time for the BS. You're focused like a hawk. So if you're not focused like a hawk and you got time to get on the phone to talk with your homie and your girlfriends, I already know you're not making money. You're not making money. And that's part of my live stream. Slap, 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 slap. This is how you go from broke money to new money. You can identify BS. You can identify BS and you know who to spend your time on and who not to spend your time on. And right about now, when you know where to spend your time, that means you're watching the heartbeat of the money. When you are sitting back and you can think, you can see that money moves in cycles, just like your heartbeat. And when you can see that, you feel it and you know when it's time to pounce, you know when it's time to move. So the fact that the U.S. is sending another U.S. aircraft carrier to that region is because they are securing our financial economic interests, okay? We're down there fighting Hezbollah. Hezbollah keeps attacking Israel because they're in solidarity with the Houthis. It's just a hot, drippy mess. I don't care about the humanitarian causes. It's about oil. It's about resources. It's about stability. It's about money. It's about prosperity. And from what I can see, I see a lot of money in the Middle East. You see, if you go back in history, you go back in time, you think the Middle East has just been sand and a war-torn region? No. That's why I love history. I love history because if you go back in history, there are cycles of the East being rich and the West living in caves. And now, because you're only familiar with the West being a first world country, you see the East as a developing third world. No, money moves. Just like the axis of the earth can change a rainforest into a desert and a desert into a rainforest, the same thing happens with money. That's why I love history, because I can look at this and say, this sounds familiar. This happened before. Now, if you don't know, countries like Iraq, they were like the world trade hub. Now, if you know anything about the Silk Road and trade routes, you know that anyone who engaged in global trade and trade routes, they stacked cash. So what happened? Invasions, destabilizing, mismanagement of money, war, all these things have interrupted the prosperity of that region. But you must know that those countries are sitting on unbelievable amounts of minerals and natural resources that we need for our technologies. So before you look down at a country because it's currently fighting right now, I'm asking you to go back in time to see that this nation used to be great. It used to be rich. It basically was the center of the world. Because guess what? I see it shifting again. I see those regions rising up again as the U.S. is struggling and our Western companies are struggling. I'm seeing things crumble. I'm seeing it shift. The British Empire collapse. The Roman Empire collapse. The Greek Empire collapse. You guys don't understand, because something was great yesterday doesn't mean that it will continue to be great. Money moves. And you must get that around your head. Money moves. Your enemy today can be your best friend tomorrow. Your ally today can be your enemy. It's the same with money. So when you get stuck in a mindset and you get stuck with there's only one way for this to go, no, the East is rising up before your face. I'm in Malaysia right now. When you think of Malaysia, some of these countries, you seem to think that they're a third world country. You would be amazed. Now, I will admit, there is an economic dichotomy here. There are extremes. But anyone who's followed my profile, you will see that I've shown you Malaysia and I've shown you the skyscrapers. It's clean. Most places is clean. Okay, there's some places it's not as clean. But what I'm trying to let you know is that the mindset, the image that you have in the U.S. about the rest of the world, you're solely mistaken. You're solely mistaken. There's so much money that has been amassed and shifted over 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years that if you stepped outside the U.S. and you traveled over to Asia, you would be shocked and you would feel betrayed. You would feel betrayed. That's how much money that has happened from global trade. So you must move with the money. If you are struggling economically in the U.S., if you are having a hard time getting a footing, your business is struggling, you must understand that you are engaging in old ways of earning money. And because of the digital economic boom, there are new ways to earn money that's highly profitable, that is quicker, that is easier, that is legal, and that is legit. But if you refuse to take action, you refuse to get knowledge, expertise, and reskilled, and you refuse to use the technology, you will get left behind. You can't possibly sit in my live stream and watch me on a cell phone and tell me that these AI technologies are destroying the world. You got a cell phone in your hand. You sound hypocritical. You're watching me on a cell phone. You order Uber Eats, a Grab ride. You order a Lyft ride off of your cell phone. And then you have the same audacity to tell me that these technologies are ruining the world. No, bruh. No. You're using the technologies right now. So get your shish together. Get your shish together and accept reality. Accept reality. You're now in a time where digital technologies are leveling the playing field. That means it's breaking glass ceilings. It is creating opportunity for gardeners, truck drivers, executive professors. It's leveling the playing field so that everyone has a chance to get ahead. Because of how things have been structured, it's been hard to move up in corporate world. Some of you can move up, but most of you get left behind. But now, because of digital technologies and that we live in a global world and now we're able to reach out, you now have an ability to earn 5-figure, 6-figure, 7-figure income without having an Ivy League education, without having a rich network, without coming from a rich family. You don't understand the power that's in your hands. So I don't want to hear the bullshit. I want you to focus on the money. Through destruction, there is creation. And because of the destruction that's being created, because of these digital technologies, it's opening opportunity for you. You can be a high school dropout as an adult, and you could be making more money than your homegirl or your homeboy that got a college degree. You want to know why? Because you're making digital money. You don't understand that you happen to be born at a time that has changed the game. But if you're stuck on old money ways, and old money ways are being destroyed, you're going to be broke. You're going to be in a state, a system of brokenness. And it's not going to be the U.S. government's fault. It's not going to be the world's fault. It's going to be your fault. Because if you happen to get my live stream on your For You page and you're watching me, you no longer have a goddamn excuse to be poor. I am educating you on how money moves, money flows. Money flows. And instead of you listening to Cardi B and all these other people flowing with them, I'm asking you to flow with the bank. Now, anyone in my live stream who wants to know how they can get paid, all you got to do is leave my live stream and go to my profile. Very serious. If you want to know what this is about and you want to know how this benefits you, I like to move you along. But the rest of you, if you want to keep watching me, do so. If you want to know how you can make money, in this digital economic boom, all you got to do is leave my live, go to my profile, and my website is there. And then you can get the answer that you seek. Real talk. Now moving on. So the US is now, this is where we are. Okay, cool. Y'all asking me questions. I'm going to tell you what you do. You can just jump onto my profile. You want to know how to have a 2-hour workday? You want to know how to get paid daily? You want to know how to have 100% profits in your bank account? All you got to do is go to is a part of the Middle Eastern region. Now, let me tell you what's going on. Egypt has a canal, a trade canal called the Suez Canal. And that's okay, guys. My phone was ringing. I'm back. My phone was ringing. Egypt has a canal. It's the Suez Canal. The Suez Canal is used to bring cargo ships through there. Now, what is happening is that U.S., European Union, cargo ships are not making it to the destination because they are being attacked. Now, these cargo ships that are being attacked, I told you, when they're attacked, they sink, we lose money. That is why the U.S. is sending, they're sending ships to the area because they're trying to secure our inventory, our financial interests. Now, here's the weird thing. Egypt is supposed to protect the canal because that canal is money. And what's happening is that $800 million plus is being lost on a monthly basis because those ships, U.S. ships, other ships, are not making it through the canal very safely. So instead of Egypt focusing on securing that canal, let me tell you what Egypt is doing. Egypt is relying on the U.S. to protect its canal to secure our interests. Now, I want you to listen to me. The canal is Egypt's business. That's how they make money. We pay money to have ships come through there. And instead of Egypt securing that canal, let me tell you what Egypt is doing. Egypt is concerned about the Gaza Strip. Now, if you don't know what's happening in the Gaza Strip, Trump announced that he wants to develop the Gaza Strip. They want to redevelop it. They want to relocate the people. They want to invest in that land, and they want to redevelop it. Just develop it. Now, they can't develop it right now because there's a lot of fighting. So they need stability. So the U.S. is working to stabilize the Gaza Strip, and the U.S. is working to protect the Suez Canal. So here's the funny part. Instead of Egypt focusing on securing the canal, which they get paid money to do so, they are focusing on the development of the Gaza Strip. Now, originally, Egypt said that they did not want to relocate the citizens of the Gaza Strip because they said it was morally, ethically wrong. Now they have changed their stance, and now they're willing to remove the Gaza citizens and move them to Sinai. Now, Egypt's saying we're willing to move 500,000 people, but we're concerned that they may destabilize the government. Hold up. You're not making any sense. First, you said that we should leave the citizens of Gaza there because that's their homeland. And then when you realize how much money was on the table, now you're saying, okay, we can move them temporarily. Then you went from saying we can move them to temporarily to we will take them into Sinai, but we're concerned they may destabilize our government. Why are you worried about peaceful people? When a person changes, when they change their story, there's a lie. Now, what is the motivation of Egypt? It's money. The only reason why they changed their stance is not because of love for these group of human beings. No, they want money because someone sat back and did calculations. If I invest in this Gaza region and I develop it, what does that mean for Egypt? It means Egypt makes bank. It means the U.S. makes bank. And it means anyone who invests in the redevelopment of the Gaza Strip, they make bank. So it went from being concerned about the people to cash. I want y'all to listen to this because sometimes we get so distracted on these stories that they tell us, and you don't sit back and think, why would someone change their position on something that they felt so strongly about? And I'm going to tell you what it is. It's money. It's opportunity. is business. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity to make bank. So when did Egypt decide that money was more important than the citizens of Gaza? Now, I'm not talking about what's right or wrong. I don't care about that right now. I'm talking about what money does. Money is moving in the Middle East. And because of the sheer amount of money and investment in the plans that are happening in the Middle East, Egypt realized, I need to put my preferences to the side and I need to cash in on this economic boom that is happening in the Middle East because this may not happen for another 50 to 100 years. This is another example of how money moves, prosperity moves, and this is how people jump on economic booms. You see, economic booms come in many way different shapes and forms. They can happen with war. They can happen with peace and reconstruction. It can happen with foreign investment. It can happen many different ways. But if you're not able to understand what is happening and how it impacts, then you miss out on the opportunity to see that money, it goes right before your face. It just moves right past your face because you don't know what it looks like. So now you have a group of people who are going to be relocated temporarily. Now, if you don't know how long it takes to develop a piece of land, that temporarily, relocation is going to be quite permanent for a while. That's the BS that they like to spill to you. Now, why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because I want you to understand money talks, money moves, and economic booms are like the waves of the ocean, and you must get off at the right time. You get on when it's up, and you get off before it hits down, just like they did in Iraq. Exactly. Now, Iraq is putting itself back on the map. Iraq is in the process of planning to build a trade hub to cut out Egypt. Iraq sees that Egypt is asleep at the dock, okay? Egypt is asleep at the port, at the dock. So Iraq, if you don't know, it's just been announced, they have plans to build a $17 billion trade hub to bypass Egypt because they want that money. They see opportunity. And now they have announced to the world through the Wall Street Journal that Iraq, what made Iraq great 10,000 years ago, they are going back to their roots of being a global trade center. And they are in the process of starting to snag the business that comes from Egypt and any other place because they're centrally located. They're quicker, they're easier, and they potentially should be safer. This is how money moves. When someone else slips up, another person comes into the rescue and they snag the cash, they snag the bag. This is how you make money. Here's another example, Apple. Apple got caught lying. Apple sold the iPhone 16 saying that it had AI, Apple Intelligence. There was no Apple Intelligence. So all of you who bought that the Apple iPhone 16 thinking it had Apple Intelligence is not coming until like 2026, 2027. So you had a company like Apple who had great trust and credibility, business-wise and consumer-wise. And they had just got caught in fraudulent lying activities to consumers. Do you think you're going to trust Apple again? Do you think you will be as excited to buy a phone, the next phone from Apple, now that you can't trust their technology? No. So let me tell you what that means. That means their sales will be impacted. And when their sales get impacted, jobs get impacted. And when jobs get impacted, shareholders and stockholders get impacted. Quarterly profits get impacted. And guess what? Apple has now just created an opportunity where another company can come in and snag market share because a greedy, lying executive decided to dupe the world's populations and lie. This is how money moves. This is how money moves. Are you with me? This is critical for you to understand. Because when I talk to you about how do you make money, okay? When I talk to you about how you make money, I want to make sure, thank you for the gift, I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. Now, someone wants to ask, what am I selling? What you need to be focusing on is how do I make money when everyone else is making money? And how do I not go broke? No, mute D. Mute D. D, you got muted, bruh. D, you can't be in my live stream talking about illegal activities. You just got muted, D. That does not fly. There's too much money and opportunity in this world for you to be talking about such activities. So this is not the place. This is not the live stream. This is for constructive intellectual conversations. And right now, you got put in timeout, okay? Here's my last story before I bring this home. The U.S. has just approved a rocket sale to Saudi Arabia during the Houthi conflict. Now, let me walk you through this. Typically, the U.S. has been reluctant Typically, the U.S. has been reluctant to provide certain types of tools to certain regions. And the fact that the U.S. is now approving precision rockets to certain regions that we have been reluctant, this is another indicator that new alliances, new deals are being made. Now, why would the U.S. just approve a precision rocket sale to Saudi Arabia? Well, I'll tell you. Saudi Arabia just committed to investing $1 trillion into the U.S. economy over 4 years. No one gives $1 trillion without getting something in return. This is how business is done, guys. This is how money moves. They have invested in the infrastructure and the development, reconstruction, the prosperity of the U.S. And in return, the U.S. is scratching their back, giving them access to our technology. That's money shifting. That's money exchange. So when you know that the U.S. is building strong relationships with new regions of the world, you must understand either you ride the wave of broke, or you ride the wave of prosperity. This is real. You earn money because there's an exchange. You either offer a good or service in exchange for money. If you have nothing to offer, you don't make any money. And I don't give a damn what anyone tells me in my live stream. No one is really handing anything out. Even if you're a sugar baby and a sugar daddy, there's something being exchanged. This is the nature of life, give and take. It's give and take. In business, in life, in relationships, it's give and take. So when you understand that everything in life is about give and take, you would get off your moral high horse and you would look at what is fundamentally going on. It is prosperity. And when you sit back and say, no, the U.S. would never do anything like that. Man, the U.S. is here to stay. Thank you for the gift. The U.S. is here to stay. And when someone has money that is in alignment with our ideas, in alignment with where we're trying to go, you have to understand that's where the money's flowing. That's where the money's flowing. So what do? You read the signs of the money. Saudi is investing $1 trillion. Guess what? We just approved a precision rocket. Okay? Now, this precision rocket is good for hitting drones, securing shipping in the Red Sea. Hear me? Listen to me. This precision rocket is good for hitting drones, securing shipping in the Red Sea. This was a $100 million sale. This is just the beginning of many. Because Saudi Arabia is making moves. And it's securing its interests and its deep relationships with the U.S. because the U.S. we love our weapons. We love our defense weapons. We love our defense weapons. Let's be clear. Now, Canada may be feeling nipple sensitive. And Canada may have canceled their defense contract with the U.S. But let me tell you something. Canada has knocked itself out of line. And Saudi Arabia has just stepped the hell up and say, I got cash. Cash. Cash, cash, cash. Canada can now kiss the ass of the U.S. This is money. Now, what does this have to do with all of you? What does this have to do with all of you? No matter where you are in the world, on some level, on some level, there is a global recession happening. Now, a global recession is not happening for everyone. I want to repeat. If you go back through history and time, even when there's a recession and or depression, there is an economic boom happening at the same time. During the Great Depression, A lot of people suffered financially. During the 2008 recession, a lot of people suffered financially. Even during the dot-com bubble, a lot of people suffered financially. But you have to understand, money is always flowing. If there is a recession in one area, that means that someplace else industries are booming. The reason why you suffer through an economic recession is that you refuse or you do not know that money is being spent, invested, and produced in another area. Are you with me? Let me know if you're with me. Because some of you are like, huh? Yeah. Let me give you an example. During the Great Depression, you know that was a hard time on the U.S. It's a hard time on the U.S. But the entertainment industry in the U.S. was booming during the Great Depression. People were so broke, they were able to find 2 pennies to put themselves in a movie theater to distract themselves from their miserable life. Now, how is it that they don't have enough money to eat? They have no heat. They have holes in their shoes and no lights. Yet, they wanted to be in a movie theater to ignore their life. Now, I'm telling you this story because some of you think, oh my gosh, a recession's happening. I say BFD. BFD, because the money's over here. Broke over here, money over here. Now, where's the money? The money is in the digital industry. The digital industry includes AI. It includes cell phones. It includes quantum computing. It includes chips. It includes algorithms. It includes robotics. It includes automations. And it includes e-learning. E-learning. Because of COVID-19 and all this money being invested in digital technologies, e-learning is booming. Now, what is e-learning? E-learning is online learning. Now, if you don't know, Trump is in the process of dismantling the Department of Education, not because he does not believe in the Department of Education. He believes in education. He just doesn't believe that it should cost as much as it costs, because now we have technologies, we have technologies that actually makes an education more relevant, more objective, and more potent in its delivery. So now that we have e-learning, and it is backed up with technologies that is alignment with the future, you're saying, what do I know? What do I do? Well, let me tell you about me. I am from the U.S. I lived in Silicon Valley for about 25 years. I am now a digital nomad. My children are a digital nomad. My daughter just turned 17. I have a 13-year-old son and I have a 17-year-old daughter. We are a digital nomad family. How do I earn money? I earn money because I have an online automated system. Listen to me. I have an online automated system. Automated means it works online 24/7. It's in the e-learning industry. Did I build it? No, it was already made. And it's cheaper than your cell phone. It's cheaper than your gaming system. And it was a one-time payment. Why is this important? I told you the same technologies that are stealing your job are some of the technologies that you use to stack your cash. Some of you seem to think, what part of Silicon Valley? I was in San Mateo County. Since you know upper management, I was in San Mateo County. Now back on topic. This automated money machine uses automations and AI in the e-learning industry. Why is the e-learning industry important? The e-learning industry earns $1.5 billion daily. That is $1.5 billion every single day. It is projected to double within 2.5 years. So by 2027, e-learning industry is going to go from $1.5 billion daily, projected to $3 billion daily. That is called a microeconomic boom. Micro means it's small because it's a small part of what's happening in the digital industry. AI is projected to be a $1 trillion industry by 2030. It is projected to beat the global success of the Apple iPhone. Now, anyone who wants to know what I do, all you got to do is leave my live stream and go to my profile. I do not give out my website. I do not give out my website on my live. Anyone who wants it, go get it. Now, let me tell you what I do. I have a 2-hour workday. I get paid daily. And I earn 100% of the money because I have an online automated system, which is online means it's on the web, it's digital. Automated means it uses automations. So the same technology that's putting some of you out of a job, I invested one time in a system that works for me 24/7 and I get 100% of the profits. Now I want you to understand this. Did I create this? No, it was already created. So how do I use it? Just like your cell phone comes with a manual. This automated machine comes with a reskilling program. To make money in a new industry, in an economic boom, you got to have the technology, you got to have the knowledge, and you have to have the right timing. The timing is now. Anyone who sleeps on microeconomic booms, you basically leave money on the table. Because economic booms come around every 15 to 25 years. So if you sleep, you lose. For example, the real estate boom, the tech boom, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google. Some of you didn't buy those stocks. You went from laughing to crying when you saw how much money people were made. Some of you went to work for those companies and you got rich. So if you don't understand the significance of microeconomic booms and you don't understand the significance of taking action, your income earning potential starts to diminish, which means it decreases. The world is moving forward whether you choose to or not. So why am I educating you on my live stream? Because I want you to understand that money moves. Now, typically you are used to corporations, companies investing in you. I told you AI, automations, robotics are basically going to take most of your jobs. And the way that you avoid an economic recession and or depression is by having your own business. Now, typically, how did you have a business? You either had to take loans, go into debt, go into your savings, and you have to work long hours. No, those are old money ways. You are now able to have an online business that has no monthly expenses, that has no inventory, no employees, and no advertising costs. I want you to understand what I'm saying. Typically, when you have an online business, you have to work hours, you have to take loans, you have to use all your savings, whatever you have to do. That is an old way of earning money. When you have a business that is in the digital age, that is how you have a 2-hour workday, because things go much quicker. How do you get 100% profits? You get 100% profits because you have no expenses. Just like when a company invests one time in a robot and that robot took your job, you also have to do where the money's going. So I invested one time in automated system. It works for me 24/7. I have a 2-hour workday. I get paid every day and I earn 100% of the money. I do not do multi-level marketing. I do not do multi-level marketing. I do not do multi-level marketing. I do not do cold calling. I do not do DM. I do not email people. I do not do network marketing. I do not. You understand? This is a new age that we live in. Did you mute? This is a new age that we live in. And with the new age, it gives you access to earning money at a rate that you cannot understand. You see, while Trump is slapping people on the ass with tariffs, when you have goods, what is the starting cost? Oh, Tally, give me a second. I got you. You're going to give me a second. I got you. When Trump is slapping tariffs on the ass of Canada, EU, and maybe Mexico, I think Mexico is cooperating, and China. If you have goods that you're importing or exporting, Trump's tariff impacts your profits. But when you have a digital business, you don't deal with tariffs. You're not restricted to the US. You have people globally that can be your customer. And instead of you chasing customers, you are taught how to attract them, which means when you do online dating and you build your profile, and you get people to attract to you. Imagine having a business where you are taught how to attract your customers with a 2-hour workday without spending money on advertising. There's no advertising cost. This is why I'm emphasizing to all of you, you got to shift your mindset. Old money ways will keep you broke. You must understand that you can have a 2 to 3 hour workday every day. You can have a business where you have 100% of the profits, and you can get paid daily. Not sit in traffic for 2 to 4 hours, get paid daily. Now, how do you do this? Well, you need the right time. The time is now. This is an economic boom happening. The time is right now. You need the technology. The technology is already built. Now, someone asked me how much this costs. It's a one-time payment of 100 or one-time payment of 300 or one-time payment of 600. I want to repeat. One-time payment of 600 or one-time payment of 300 or one-time payment of 100. Why is it different? Because your budget and your goals are different. Each one gets you reskilled. The reskilling comes with the automated money machine. I want you to listen to me. The automated money machine, your online automated system, comes with a reskilling program. They come together. There's no monthly fees. You get taught, educated digital skills, and you get an online automated system that's already built. So you could have your automated system up and running in about 3 days, and you could actually be turning a profit by day 7. It's learn to earn. Now, some of you are like shocked. Don't be shocked. If Saudi Arabia can get an approval for a precision rocket from the US, and the US is fighting with Canada and the EU, and the US is investing and clearing Gaza, you must understand the impossible is impossible. The impossible is possible. The impossible is possible. You do not have to work more than 3 hours a day. You do not have to wait every 2 weeks, every month to get paid. You do not have to work for pennies or percentages. You can get 100% of the money and not have to create anything. I want to emphasize this. So if you want to know how to do it, all you got to do is go to my profile. My website is there. Everything you need to know is there. And when I say one-time payment, I meant one time. One time. Your cell phone cost you $1,000. That wasn't an investment. That was a waste of money. Your gaming system costs you a lot of money and makes you no money. Your flat screen TV that you spent a few $100s on makes you no money. So how are you spending $1,000 on a cell phone and you can't afford to invest in yourself and ride the next economic boom? You cannot ride an economic boom without investment. Now, do you need a formal education? No. You can be a high school dropout. You can be an Ivy League graduate unemployed. You can be a retired person, or you can be a Johns Hopkins University professor that's getting laid off. Because of these technologies, this e-learning industry actually allows mostly anyone to get in. You have to understand, there's no gatekeeper, there's no permits, there's no regulators, there's nothing. All you got to do is have a cell phone, 2 hours a day, and Wi-Fi. You will be taught everything you need to know. Now, for some of you, there's a payment plan. If you want to wait to see how the chips fall, that's on you. Smart people hop from one wave to the next. And the only way you're going to be able to capitalize on this microeconomic boom is by investing one time into yourself. You got to get reskilled. You got to have the technology, and you got to get the timing. The timing is now. In 2 years, it's going to double. Either you get on it or you move aside. Now, the only thing that's missing is the technology and you getting reskilled. Very simple. You can earn whatever you want to earn in a day. You want to earn $300 a day? Fine. You can earn $1,800 in a day, in one day. There's some people who earn their month income in one day. You want to know why? Because there's no expenses. 100% of the money goes to them. Now, do you work for me? No, I want to be clear. You do not work for me. This is your business. You do not work for me. You get your automated system. You earn that money. You get your own automated system. All that money is yours. That is why I say you earn 100% of the profit. Tito, all you have to do is go to my profile. All the money is yours. So when I say 100%, that's how you get 100%. Because you have invested in your own automated system, which means it's your technology and you earn the money. So imagine you invest in automate. Is this day trading? No, Kevin. E-learning. E-learning. Automations. AI and e-learning. You don't have to know anything. A fourth grader can do this. This is beginner friendly. You're taught step by step, and you will be taught the digital skills that are needed to earn money with your automated machine. You're not going to make bank unless you invest. Now, some of you will invest and getting a 4-year education and going $30,000 to $50,000 into debt. That's not a smart decision. Some of you will put money into stocks. That's not a smart decision. You want to know why? The stock market is too risky and you can't afford it. Tally. So do we need to go live each time to teach persons about it? Tally, sweetheart, I'm not answering that question here because if you want it, go get it. If you're scared of learning how to do attraction marketing, then my love, this is not for you. Okay, guys, I want to be clear on something. To be able to earn money digitally online, you either have to choose what you want to do. If you're scared, that means you're not willing to do the work. And if you're not willing to do the work, you're not going to see the money. If you can get in your car every day, sit for 2 hours in traffic, show your face at a job that's exploiting you financially, and I present you with an opportunity which you're required to show your face and you earn 100% of the money, help me make sense of this. You can show your face in 2 to 4 hours of traffic every day. You can sit in a job for 8 to 12 hours and not get paid what you're worth, and you're not afraid to show your face there? You're not afraid to go to the unemployment office. You're not afraid to get rejected, but you're afraid to learn how to earn money digitally online with unlimited income potential? Come on now, guys. You're not afraid to be broke. You're not afraid to be unemployed. You're not afraid to be laid off and fired. You're not afraid to work for 20 to 30 years and have no retirement income, but you're afraid to invest in yourself, to have an automated system and work for yourself and get 100% of the money? This is the difference between broke money, new money, and more money. Broke money, new money, and more money. You're not scared to be struggling for scraps, but you're scared to earn your income. Thank you for your time. I'm done with my live stream. I've given you something to think about. I'm giving you something to think about. Kevin, let me tell you something, Kevin. This is what you're learning. You're learning digital skills. When you learn digital skills, Kevin, you can sell pretty much anything you want legally online. When you get digital skills and you earn digital money, you can sell whatever your heart's desire digitally online. But if you get your online automated system, you get the resale rights to the same program that is educating you. Do you understand? Thank you. Stop asking me questions and go get answers. My website's on my profile. This is cheaper than your cell phone. This is cheaper than your flat screen TV. This is cheaper than your gaming system. And for some of you, this is cheaper than your monthly cell phone bill. You cannot afford not to do this. You cannot afford not to do this. You can be a high school dropout and a 4-year-old can teach you this. It's that simple. It's that beginner friendly. I'm done. Thank you for your time. I will see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day.